Oh shit, it's what day is today? It's Wednesday, May the 14th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it again. It's Wednesday, I believe, 14th of May, halfway through the month, 2025. Happy belated Mother's Day wherever you are in and around the world. Wherever you're tuning in from, if it's Canada, Wagwan mi familia. Down south in the United States, meet further mi familias. Further down south, more familias. Or south, or there Mexico, South America. Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, is the Finnish people, Zimbabwe, over there in Australia, Papua New Guinea, of course, Senegal, what's going on in south of France, all around the world, the Koreas, the stands, all the stands. Let's get a sip of this coffee. I had a little banana prior to the show. My throat just got a little dry for a second. Needed to be lubed up, extra lubey for today's episode. Coffee is hot. Oh, it's just the way I like it. Burn the tonsils. Burn the interior of your mouth. If it's not burning, it's not working. Ladies and gents, it's Wednesday. A lot to discuss. I hope you're all doing well. Lots of fun to be had. And we're just gonna start right off the bat. We're just typically today's gonna be we'll see where it goes. I'll just say this. We'll see where it goes because I'm on the fence on this one. I don't even know how to. Been thinking about it. It's been on my mind because it's all over the news. It's popping. It's one of those things you wish you had insider access to. I'm just gonna good. Hold on a sec. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Nice and smooth. What were we talking about? That's right. Something you wish and I wish we had insider access to, because it seems like it's a lot happening. A lot is happening. Talk about the Diddy trial is underway, I believe. You give freak-offs a bad name. That's what I believe that's going to be today's title of this video as well. You give freak-offs a bad name. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy's trial it's popping. It's happening right now before our eyes. I've been trying to keep tabs as much as I can. Interesting shit is going on. I'll tell you this right now, man. This is many questions we have to ask a lot of questions here. Just because someone is a bad boy, does that mean that they're a bad man or a bad man? Bad boy versus bad man. Morality or immorality versus legality versus illegality. Autonomous individuals who can make up their own minds with bodily autonomy, responsible mature adults, or people who need protection and are essentially victims. So many questions. Initially, I'll say this. Initially, when we all saw the old Cassie video pop up, I believe it was from 2016. I don't even remember the details of this. Too many things going on, but it doesn't matter. The video that we all saw, Diddy kicking and dragging Cassie all around the place in a hotel on a hotel floor. So that was, I'll say this, that video does not bode well for Diddy. But again, the things that they're trying to charge him with, again, initially when I just met like many people, when I initially saw the video, I'm like, guilty, put him away. At least, I don't know, it doesn't bode well. When somebody's a wife beater, it doesn't, especially if it's captured on video, you're like, oh God, if he did this on videos, what else could he have been doing behind the scenes? But that's mad. Okay, so the charges, I believe some of them, I'm not even sure what the charges are exactly. They're racketeering, which is essentially like illegal businesses or like, illegal activities that get you money, get you dough, but are made to seem like they're legal businesses. Racketeering, that's something that's, I believe, trafficking, sex trafficking, that's another one that's being thrown in there, which not quite sure about that either. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I'm on the fence with it. We might see a surprise. We might see a whole turnaround. This might be, I don't have a dog in this race. Obviously, if anybody did anything wrong, yes, definitely. But also, we must keep an objective view of things. We must not go with our gut feel, because sometimes you see certain things, you're like, again, myself initially as well, I'm like, oh, if he's beating a woman, what else is he doing? Lock him up, put him away. No Diddy, all that. So we saw all that, and I'll say this. I'm not quite sure how it's gonna go down. Obviously, he's a wealthy individual. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of, but this is, you know, it's just, Cassie is one of the first witnesses that's taken the stand and going there, telling her story. But let's just separate the issues. Let's try to separate the issues, because at the end of the day, innocent until guilty, we do have to appreciate the justice system, or the, because without justice there be no laws. Without laws there'll be anarchy. With anarchy there'll be, well, you know, fucking anarchy. Like, oh, riots, banks closing, people try to take out their monies. Everybody trying to take out their monies at the same time. There is no money. Put your money in crypto. More anarchy. Who knows what else? Tits flying everywhere. Free tits everywhere. Oh, peen in your face. There's penis in your face. All it's anarchy. There's a lot of spray painting. A lot of trash cans being burnt. Oh, anarchy. Without laws and justice. So we must go ahead and give due process, or let justice do what it does, which is just serve justice, just ice. But nonetheless, I'm curious about the outcome, because it has larger implications. This is like a microcosm of what is. It's like, and then you got the macrocosm, because I believe a lot of people are going to be looking at this case as a case study. Because if this, you know, whether he wins or loses, I believe we're gonna figure out a bunch of stuff, defining things like sex trafficking. Let's just start with that one. I don't even know what that is. Like, I guess I kind of do. I don't know what sex trafficking across state lines means. I believe, because okay, so many things to discuss. This was a juicy one. I really like. Okay, obviously not the horrible events that have allegedly taken place. Those are not fun for anybody. At the time, they might have been. Some people allegedly. Who knows? Who knows? Once you're in it, because blurred lines, a lot of nuance. So again, a lot of heavy lifting for the judges and the jury and the people. We must not jump to conclusions. It's one of the things I try to objectively look at things, and we must not jump to conclusions. Trafficking across state lines. So prostitution, I believe, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. In some states, I think it's legal, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've heard, if I'm not mistaken, like in New York, I believe you can get prostitutes. You can legally purchase, or you can't buy them, you can like rent them, I suppose. It's a whole loop-de-loop. This is the longest running profession or job, they say, in the world, prostitution. But yet there's so many, it's weird, because it's illegal, but it's legal, but it's not legal, but it's illegal. There's loopholes. There's many things that, you know, you're not supposed to, I don't even know what you're supposed to do or what not to, but it exists despite all the loopholes and the laws and everything. It would have just been a simple transactional, as a matter of fact thing, but we've made it very complex. And I guess because it is a complicated issue. It is a complicated issue, but nonetheless, let's try to understand as best as we can. I don't understand personally much of anything. So this one's prostitute. So could you purchase, it's because they're saying trafficking across borders of state borders. So is there a problem with getting hookers or prostitutes to come from one state to another? Is that the issue? Is that where the trafficking is? What if they were to just get moving forward, learning lessons, the learning moments, teachable moments, they say, should you just get, if you are going to have a freak off, again, you give freak offs a bad name, but also a man, a product of his time and his, you know, atmosphere and surrounding circumstances, all that jazz too. So there's a lot. I'm not defending anybody. I'm not trying to put, you know, trying to look at it objectively as much as possible, but also it might just be that, who knows? So I think from now on, for the time being, if you are into, you know, if you're a prostitute, or if you are into getting prostitutes, I say don't get them from one state to another, or here in Canada from one province or another. Just get it within province. Stay local, or you travel elsewhere and don't bring anybody in, because I'm not quite sure if it's a matter of like, you can't be on this corner, this is our corner, so you're taking food off the plates of our prostitutes' tables, and think of their children, because these gals, some of them I bet they have children, guys too, I bet some of them have. So if you are going and bringing people, you might have somebody you like internationally, you're like, I'll fly them over. Well, you can't do that, I guess, because it's local. I think this is like a grassroots movement for prostitution, essentially. I believe this is saying like no to bringing you can't bring toots over from states to get your own. Or have the prostitute move permanently to that state so that they're like a resident of the state, so that you're not trafficking. Lessons learned, I suppose. Learning, I get not even fully learned yet. Learning, we're in the process of it. Do not bring prostitute. You're like, I really like this chick. I really like this guy. He's got a hammer on him, but he's all the way in the other side. I got to bring him over. Now you're trafficking. Now you're stuck in traffic. Hong Kong, who's there? Nobody's moving. It's gridlock. What's going on? Oh, we're trafficking now. We're heavily into trafficking. That's what it is. So that's one of the things. The racketeering stuff, I'm not quite sure how that works. I think it's just, who knows? It's organized crime. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't know anything. It's just exciting to watch all this unfold. But the picture initially viewed by many of us was, again, the beating or the stomping on Cassie, and that doesn't bode well for Diddy. But does that mean that he's done everything else they're saying he's done? Trafficking, racketeering, extortion, who knows? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But that one video was the one that just like most people got on board and like, oh, kick him to the curb, just, chuck him away, lock him up, take away his lube. So let us try to unpack this as much as we're going to be going along in several weeks of this. I believe we'll find out. At the end of the day, we'll find out. Freak offs. First of all, let's break this one down. We are learning what a freak off is. We are learning what has happened to Cassie and I guess many other people involved. Let's try to dissect it, because I believe there's a fine line between you can be freaky, you can have your freak offs. I believe the issue lies within, I guess, violence and coercion. These are the issues that are kind of going to be the implicating factors if anybody's done dirt, or if anybody's done anything wrong. I believe that's the portion that's wrong with it. So again, I'm not an expert in anything, but I like many of you guys, to look at things and discuss it and ponder it for yourselves as you do your daily task or chit-chatting with friends and families and whatnot. You guys have those, right? Friends and families? Nice. Good to have those. Glad you guys have them. Great. Get a sip of this. Okay, so let's say you want to have a freak off. Let's just try to, I guess this is a learning moment for all of us. Freak offs, if you want to have them, what do they entail? This is just one man and other parties that were involved, but think of all the billions of people who live in this planet, or rather on this planet, and how many people get freaky? I bet a lot of people get freaky to different variations, different degrees. What might be seemingly spicy to you may be very tame and bland for somebody else, and what might be bland for somebody else might be extremely spicy for others. So it's kind of an individual thing, kind of a group thing. You gotta agree upon the activities that are about to happen. I believe there has been urine involved. There's been definitely urine involved. Piss has been involved. I don't particularly have I'm not into it. I'm not into it either. It's bodily fluids during sexual activities. I don't care. If it's there, yes. If it's not there, it's not gonna make or break, if there are no waterworks, if there are no water sports, I'm not interested. If it's because it depends. Some people have a lot of it, some people don't. Could you place it in somebody's mouth and drink it, or have them drink it if they're willing, if they're consenting? Would you like to drink some? That's another one. That's So pissing is, I believe, a big one in this particular case. Having other people, forcing somebody to drink the pee. I think this is okay. I believe there have been instances where she may have been, or others may have been involved in forced pissing, or taking piss, or giving piss with prostitutes, taking the piss of the prostitutes, drinking their piss, having to do activities that involve piss, like a piss and lube. Lube and piss seem to be the key ingredients of freak offs. That's what we're learning. So keep a close eye on this. But I would say, from my basic understanding, do not, if you are like, oh man, this guy gives freak offs a bad name. He certainly does, because I believe forcing somebody, coercion, threatening, beatings don't bode well for anybody during sexual activities or romantic relationships, or whatever you want to call them, entanglements, whatever you want to call them, relationships that are non-platonic, relationships that are very close, nude relationships. You don't want to force anybody to do anything. That's one thing we're learning. I think that was kind of obvious for most people, but it's good to reiterate some points every now and again, because we are constantly learning and evolving. And so what could you do? You're like, oh, could I beat her over the head with a chair? Probably not. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no to that one. Could I, what if she wants me to beat her over the head with a chair? Then if she really wants you to be, I don't know. This is where it gets tricky. People have different requests. People are all different. You're like, what if she wants to be, what if she wants, can I piss on her? If she wants you to piss on her, then I believe you can piss on her. Like, can she piss on me? Again, if you want to and she wants to, I believe it's okay. But if she doesn't want to, you can't force her to like piss on you. I believe you're like, what about a little bit of the backhand? Can I give her a little backhand to get her to get the, just literally old backhand? You can't do that. Because that's like, again, putting force and but bringing violence into it. You're like, what if she asks to be choked? I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend it either. Tell her to choke herself. That's, in this day and age, tell her to choke herself. If she wants to, choke herself. That's what it is. I don't even understand where, I believe a big portion of this, a lot of it has to do with our intake of, modern porn. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm not ever advocating it. I'm not putting it down either, because it's great to have. Why not? But it does definitely, warp our vision or our notion of what is normal sex, because you do see it in porn. You do it if you want to. It's always available, and you do see certain acts that get carried out. But that is actually teaching many new generations coming up of what is accepted, what is normal, what's not normal, what's aggressive, what's not aggressive, and these things, because before porn, people just basically, just did the regular stuff. Very, I know it was fine, that was fantastic. But then porn, again, I'm not against it, I'm not for it either. I'm a consumer, I enjoy it, why not? But again, not the, but I'm not into, if it gets to, I like the basic stuff. I like a nice, nice hairy bush, a little nice squirting sesh, masturbating sesh, hells yes. Lesbians, nice wholesome lesbians, a wholesome scissoring sesh for the whole family, yes. I'm not into the all, the BDSM stuff. I'm not into the whole, aggro, it's just, for me, puss, tits, and ass is plenty to work with. I don't need all the other bells and whistles. Of course, there is a saying, I'm not even quite sure, the more you do of something, the more you need to kind of like amp it up in order to be. So if that's, depends where your bar is. Again, going back initially, what's spicy to some may be bland to others, and vice versa. But coercion and forcing and beating, you're like, what if she wants me to like, the beat her with barbed wire? I recommend you to, take that elsewhere. I recommend, you're like, what if she herself wants to beat herself with barbed wire? Then again, tricky. It's best for you not to be involved. To have her do that on her own time. You engage in the sexuals, but like the aggro stuff, I would highly recommend most people, if you want to, just play it safe, just stick to the basics. But that does not mean you cannot do freak offs. See, this is where it gets tricky, because everybody's like, oh, well, freak it dig. But meanwhile, we know, because we're people. You and I know we're people. You've met people. You've seen things. You've been alive long enough. People do freaky stuff in the bedroom, and whatever freaky means, you know what I mean? But I guess, again, the key component here is violence and coercion, I'm assuming, and I don't know much. I bet there's a whole lot more that I don't know, and I'm willing to wait and find out with you. But I just wanted to say, just because somebody's out there giving freak-offs a bad name, that doesn't mean that you can't be freaky in a nice way in your bedroom with your spouse, with your lover, with your guma, with your mistress, or with multiple people. And that's up to you, completely up to you. But again, coercion and physical abuse, I believe that's a nay-nay. It's always been a nay-nay, but it's good to reiterate. And this is good that this is, I guess it's a public case that's going on. It's a learning lesson for a lot of people. Everybody's learning. It has large implications too, because what happens to Diddy has, again, there are bigger players out there who might have been involved in very similar activities who are looking very closely at this case to see what happens. It is exciting. It's exciting, all right? It is exciting. Again, not for the horrible events that occurred, allegedly, to the individuals involved, but we are about to find out. Because at the end of the day, that's what, again, justice, serving just ice. Could she stomp on your cock if you want, if that's your thing? Yes, she can. Could she spin on you if you want to? Yes, we can. Yes, we can together. Could she pull on your hair? Yes, she can if you want it. Could you pull on her hair a little bit? Yes. Like, I guess, like, this talking is communication between people is very key. But also we're going to be learning, because again, at the time, she was 19, in her early 20s. I'm hearing a few stuff. She felt coerced, that she felt like she's getting a 10 record deal with the record company, that Bad Boy has to, because Bad Boy business is in the music business, so that's what they do. I guess Diddy might have promised, a lot of records and whatnot. So again, these are things that you're like, this doesn't even interest me. It might not interest you directly, but I bet you there's people out there that you might want to be, do you have children? Do you have kids? Do you have relatives? Might be good to, let them know that, hey, just because there's freak-offs and wealthy gentlemen out there, or sometimes women too, who might be seemingly, providing you a good deal of, come, let me be your sugar daddy, I'll take care of it. You can get into whatever business they may want to get into. It's not always, just fun freak-off. Sometimes you might regret some stuff later on, but then again, you should, at the end of the day, we are going to learn what consists of, I guess, consent here. I guess, making a decision as a quote-unquote adult. Everything would have been fine. I'm guessing the beatings have a lot to do with the beatings and the coercion. That has a lot to do with it. It does, how many times is too much? If it happens once, that's when you should probably call also, again, if it happens once, if somebody beats you once, that's probably when you should be like, you know what, I'm out of this. I'm out of it. Don't linger on in there for, it doesn't bode well for the person either. Because you're like, okay, maybe the deal was worth it. Maybe the deal was, maybe a couple of backhanded, maybe a couple of just kick her to the curb, but also provide a lifestyle. Provide a lifestyle on the red carpet. Red carpet, let me shit on your chest. Red carpet, fancy jewelry, fancy lifestyle, but also, we're gonna have prostitutes come and piss in your mouth. All these things are at play, and you gotta be able to, make a decision and live with it, or something. Or I don't know. We'll find out. Again, could she have gotten the jewelry, the lifestyle, maybe the record deals or whatever, the lucrative lifestyle without the quote-unquote degrading activities? Maybe she could have, and maybe she should have tested that out. But also, she was, who knows? I'm trying to just be as objective as possible. But at the same rate, again, I don't believe in the violence. I don't believe in the coercion. A lot of lube involved. Apparently there was a time where Cassie was demanded to go dip in a whole pool of oil and lube and just be soaked in lube. Lube was a key component. Lube was a key component, ladies and gentlemen, and that is, we'll see what happens. But again, you can do a lot. Again, if she tells you, can I spit in your urethra? Can I get the salt and pepper and put it in your urethra? Yeah, not my cup of tea, but if it turns you on, if you're into it, then do it. Then yes, can you, whatever you want, whips. I'm not into it. If you're into it and they're into it, then by all means. Again, I'm not advocating any of these. I'm just saying there's plenty that goes on in the world that even Diddy's freak-offs might seem, in comparison, extremely tame. But we'll see what happens. I'm beginning to think there might be a turnaround on a bunch of stuff. I believe he will. Definitely a case of domestic abuse. I mean, that's definitely visible on camera. That's definitely one thing. I don't know what the charges are going to be against him in terms of domestic abuse, but I'm not an expert on anything, which makes it fun, because this way we can talk about literally anything, ladies and gentlemen. But do not be, just because somebody did bad freak-offs, do not, shy away from freak-offs. You can still party. You can still get hookers. You can still do a lot of drugs. You can still have the sex, whatever you like, as long as everybody's consenting and mutually into it, and there should be no physical violence. You're like, can I put her in a chokehold and just kind of make sure she says yes quicker? No, probably not, right? Probably not. You're like, what if handcuffs and I just chuck the keys away? Again, probably I would stay away from, and that's my choice. I'm personally staying away from that stuff. But to you, if you like to, and if they're, then put her in handcuffs, put him in handcuffs, and then give the keys to a random cab driver and then just have them take off in any given direction, never to be seen again. So it just takes them longer to get out of the handcuffs now. And they're going to be, put them on nice and tight. And then squeeze his nuts. And you know, just whatever you're into. Pour, you know, get lots of candles. Pour melted candles on top of each other. It burns. I don't know why you would do that to yourself. It burns. Pain is pleasure. I don't believe that. Pleasure is pleasure. They say pain is pleasure. A little bit of pain. A little bit of yes. Okay, fine. A little bit of the old, you know, a little hickey, nice. A little tingling sensation, fine. Burning candles? I don't think so. Lots of oil? Yeah, sure. Burning candles? Not into it. But again, to each their own out there. Just because somebody did freak offs in a horribly wrong fashion doesn't mean that you can't do freak offs, all right? Let's hashtag free freak offs. Hashtag save freak offs, all right? Hashtag no to coercion, hashtag no to violence, but like also hashtag free freak offs, all right? Just because somebody did it the wrong way does not mean that you cannot engage. If you want to stick your head in any orifice of anybody's body and they're willing, high five each other and just do it. Have fun with it. If you want to just prolapse all the way out into your, you know, into the wherever, into another room in the house, just have it just out there. Just depart from your body. Just say no. Just I don't want. You can do that, and if you and others want to do that too, yes, you could do that. A big portion of this also involves cuckery. Cuckery, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say it right now. I read this in a book because I enjoy reading from time and again. And many people don't know this, but the biggest brotherhood and sisterhood in this world, the largest brotherhood and sisterhood in the world, that a lot of people are a part of, I'll give you a few seconds if you can guess what this large, extremely large brotherhood and sisterhood that unites many people on this planet. When I read it, I'm like, God damn, it's fairly correct. It's fairly correct. Few seconds. What do you think this brotherhood and sisterhood that consists of almost, I would say, billions of people are in this brotherhood and sisterhood? They don't even know it. The brotherhood and sisterhood of cuckolding. That's right. Cuckolding is the largest society that a lot of people are a part of. And you're like, I'm not a cuckold. If you, here's what it is. If you've been cheated on, cuckolding. That's what it is. If you've cheated, contributing to cuckolding. If you have children with multiple spouses, there's a level of cuckolding there. So a lot of people, again, it's something, but it's different varying degrees of things. So I'm just saying, brother and sister of cuckolding, the large portion of this game that gets also, you know, cuckolding is also advertised or sold a lot of times in Hollywood and in the music industry, a lot of pimping and hoeing and shit. Pimping and hoeing and shit has a lot to do with cuckery at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a lot to do with cuckery. Different variations, voyeurism, getting other people involved in your business. These are, of course, my understandings, and I'm learning as I go along. I'm just sharing what I'm trying to learn, and we can learn together, but I'm also open to more learning, of course, as always. But a lot of cuckery gets, because that's what it is. When you invite others into the bedroom, you're like, fuck this chick or fuck this guy in front of me because I gets my kid. That's cuckery. There's nothing wrong. I'm not cuck shaming you out there if you're into it. Again, various degrees. Minimal level of cuckery, somebody has probably cheated on you at one time. You may have cheated on somebody at one point. Low level cuckery rather. But it gets higher and higher. Multiple baby mamas, multiple baby daddies, major cuckery. And that's completely okay in society. I'm not judging you, I'm just saying it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, getting other people involved, I'm not into it. Especially the actual, get somebody to fuck your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend in front of you. Not my cup of tea. But it does get often, portrayed. And again, the pimping and hoeing and this shit, so it's part of the game, bro. If you play it. And you can, and that's the thing too. Again, one of the, pimping and hoeing and shit, one of the oldest games in this game of life. I guess there's a proper way of doing it. Proper way of pimping and hoeing out there. Own your shit. Also respect. A lot of times respect gets lost, and that's why a lot of times just pimping at home shit just gets a bad rap, and that's why it gets taken out. It just legs of it just gets, cut from underneath, and then the big OnlyFans comes in and takes over your business and shit. Doesn't let you pimp and hoe the way you like to pimp and hoe. A peer-to-peer, person-to-person, and very grassroots level pimping and hoeing has now been taken over by giga pimping. You can't even compete with that shit. But nonetheless, pros and cons to everything too. Also, it helps people who want to just self-pimp themselves, and you can do that as well, which is nice. And pimping isn't necessarily a bad thing either. Essentially selling something, providing a service or some goods of sorts. So pimp a bitch, pimp a hoe, pimp a fella if you like, but like respect is key. A lot of times, growing up, you might have watched movies or you might have even seen pimps. And not so respectful. Most of them, the lifestyle isn't, but you can have respect. You can be very nice and, thoughtful. You can be, and that's the thing. Terrible pimping is short-sighted. That's the type of pimp that says, I'm gonna just smack a bitch and have her bring me the money. That's a short-sighted pimp that's not gonna last to see the future of the game. That's what it is. So if you gotta bring a little bit of respect, a certain level of professionalism into the game, please. So don't just think, I've seen a couple of movies and heard a couple of songs and get to pimp. You need respect, motherfuckers. Put some respect on yourself and other people who are involved. These are the things that we're learning, but nonetheless, apparently Diddy into cuckery. Apparently, I would assume a lot of elite people, whether in Hollywood or high up even in politics, royal family member, who knows? A lot of people I would assume, because again, once you have access to a lot of things, how do you push the envelope and get excited about life? You gotta do more. At one point, you just gotta sit back and let somebody fuck your wife. Or girlfriend, respect. That's the way it goes. And at one point, who knows? Bring animals into it, even more lube, Have somebody fuck you and then have your spouse watch them, or watch you and them. It keeps, I still go back to that saying, man. I remember, and it was a great piece of advice. Our high school gym coach, he told us one story. It was sex ed. He was also teaching us about sex, which was nice. I remember this piece of advice. It's like, just because you can have a threesome right now doesn't mean you should have a threesome right now. Again, alluding to the point that, give yourself some time. Spread it out. Because the quicker you spread it out, the fun having activities, that is, the sooner you're going to reach that limit of like, what's next, bro? Bring in the goats, bring in the midgets, bring in the whips, bring in the, fireworks, and light my asshole hairs on fire, and just don't use any fire extinguisher. Let natural air take course. That's the type of shit. I'm not judging it. So you can do it. Again, if everybody's consented, if that's what you want to do, have fun with it. But don't let somebody who does freak-offs inappropriately in a wrong fashion give freak-offs a bad name. And also, again, we're going to be learning a lot more. Figuring out, can people make up their own minds and decide on their own? Are women to be trusted? Or are they just dumb broads who need to be protected and are victims? Which is it? Case by case, instance by instance. And we'll see and that's the thing. Power to the bitches. Yes. Own that pussy. Pop. Pop that pussy. You don't want to talk, just pop that pussy. And that's the way it goes. Fucking women's movement. Let's go. Let's do it together. Skirts up or down, up or tiny skirts. No bras. Tits out. Yes. All of it interconnected. Many things are interconnected. We're learning and growing, ladies and gentlemen, but it's exciting to see this case, and not because of the horrible events that may have occurred, allegedly, but learning is exciting. Learning is growth. What else is going on? There's a lot is going on, I'll tell you that. But first and foremost, while we're going to stay on this subject, not directly, but we're going to stay relatively close to the subject. Let's just say, for example, you were thinking out there, I want to be practicing face sitting. How do I practice face sitting? First of all, you must be comfortable with the notion of actually sitting down. So let's say you're like, oh, I can't sit down for more than 2 minutes. Then I'm going to say right now, skirt, pump the brakes, get out of the vehicle, if you can't sit down for more than 2 minutes, then face sitting is definitely not the sport for you, fella, lady out there. Face sitting, I would say, you know, be comfortable with sitting and also having somebody's face essentially be the seat cushion. That's also, if you're like, I gotta sit on a, you know, the proper chair. If I don't sit on a proper chair, and if it's not, you know, if the incline or the decline of the back seat is not proper, I get a backache and I just, you know, pull a muscle. Then face sitting is probably not going to be for you. Face sitting is, because it's not going to have that flat surface level cushion of a traditional seat. So think about it for a second. Imagine your favorite person's face and you're sitting on it. That's face safe. So you got to be comfortable with that. You're like, I don't like any sharp objects in my puss, or if you're a fella, in my you know, on my nutsack, or, you know, I don't like that. Well then, because, you know, typically people's noses come out of their face, so that's going to be poking you in the vag or the taint or the butthole at times. So face sitting is, if you don't like things that are, you know, poking you from underneath, then that's probably not the sport for you. But if you're into it, then it's definitely for you. I would suggest you start off with, you know, like we did say, if you can't sit for more than 2 minutes, don't even try this, or don't even bother, because there's, you know, people who do this for a living. Don't waste our time around here. But also do start off at a very low pace. You know, just start so you want to increase your time of face sitting incrementally. You don't want to just go in there and sit on someone's face for like 3 hours. Then you're just literally suffocating somebody, and that's just too much. 3 hours is probably too much. So start off slow with a few minutes of face sitting, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of maybe face sitting, and then gradually every week or every month add another minute, and then, you know, you can work it. And then that way, again, the ceiling is not breached as quickly, because you might, you know, have somebody sit on your face for like 75 minutes and you're like, I just need more face sitting. 75 minutes should be sufficient for anybody to do face sitting. I'm just putting it out there. I don't have the exact numbers, but if I were to say what is an adequate amount of face sitting, anything more than 75 minutes, that's way too much face sitting. That's too much. You're gonna pull your face muscles. Your face is gonna droop. Do you wanna look like a stroke patient? Then do not try. As a matter of fact, you will get a stroke if you try face sitting for longer than 75 minutes. We've actually looked at the statistics. I don't wanna share it with you. Typically speaking, this is just a fun, you know, it's just a little hang that we have. But if you want to get into the nitty gritty science of it, then 75 minutes is, 75 minutes. You're like, oh my God, I'm getting really close. I'm sitting like 69, 70 minutes. Then fucking be careful out there, because 75 minutes and over, both of your faces will just fucking sideways stroke right there, dude. Right there, lady. You don't want to do it for more than 75 minutes. It would help if you could, you know, could you low-key, I would say, if you want to do it for more than 75 minutes and don't want to risk getting like a, you know, stroke face, Bell's palsy shit, I say bring in an oxygen tank. Always have it ready, and take, you know, don't sit consecutively on top of somebody's face. Get up a few seconds, give them a little time to breathe. It's just like swimming. Remember that face sitting is as close to swimming as anything else. I can't imagine anything closer to swimming than face sitting. As a matter of fact, I have stopped swimming altogether. It's a matter of time and resources. I don't have access to my own pool. I prefer face sitting, and that's how I do my swimming, with face sitting. And you can do it too. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you could do face sitting. And stretch prior to face sitting. Stretch, clear up your nostrils, because it's already going to be difficult to breathe. Always, you know, make sure you blow your nose, get a nice, you know, clear the airways. You can breathe a little bit better with puss on your mouth and your nose. It's going to be difficult for you to breathe for long periods of time. Make sure you clear the airways. I don't want to get 911 calls to the 911 people. 911, what's your emergency? Oh, prolonged face sitting. He's choking now. And now they got to put the cat back on the tree, drive all the way to your ass, unplug you from her asshole. So be a little bit, just, you know, it's not always about you. There's other people, there's billions of other people doing shit all day, every day. So do not just think that you can just call 911 and another face-sitting accident. Please be responsible out there, all right? But in the meantime, do have fun. Please, do have fun. How far should you go with it? As far as you're both willing. Now, time is a little bit, you don't want to do it for too long, but depth, which is something we're always about, not about that surface level shit. Depth is one of our middle names. If you want to face it and eventually engulf the person that you're sitting on top of, that's, if I'm being quite honest with you, I don't want to even reveal this one, because I figured many topics that we touch on, we can always come back to and learn and grow and add to, but this one's a big kept secret. I'll just say it right now. If you're not, at the end of face sitting, if you're not fully engulfed in a bodily orifice, then you're not face sitting properly. One person by the end of face sitting should always disappear. That's the way you properly, really just take them up the vaginal or asshole and just, just suck them in. That's essentially what you want to do, and just have them live there for a couple of days. Doesn't hurt. Nothing more than 3 days. That's when people start asking questions, where's such and such, haven't seen such and such, and you're just walking there, people thinking you just got a, you just got a bad flu and you just added a couple of extra pounds. And meanwhile, fucking the Jeremy's inside you, or Stacy's inside you, man. Fucking let him out. Again, everything they say is about balance. Balance, 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 ladies and gents. Thank you for asking that wonderful question from our viewers and audience members who think of many wonderful questions to ask. Like the next question people have asked, should I stick to trad finger fucking, or should I opt for the new age techno finger fucking? What are the differences? Trad finger fucking is obviously finger fucking using the methods of puss to finger or finger to puss. How many fingers could you use to finger fuck is a great question. I would say start with just one tiny finger. Probably the best way to finger fuck, I would suggest, is by starting with the pinky finger. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people just want to go index middle first. Index middle first. You're amateurs out there, fucking amateurs. Amateurs making mistakes. Work up to it. Start with the pinky. Get in there. Just pinky right there. In puss. In puss. Or butt. Whatever you're into. Whatever you're into. Then add the ring finger. Then typically, again, you're like, oh, I'm pretty sure it should be middle finger and index finger. That's, again, you want to can either do things the right way or just do it however you've been doing it. Do it however you've been doing it. I don't care. Think I care? I don't care. Pinky, ring finger. Do that for a few minutes. Eventually, then you put in the third middle finger. That's right there, right there, right there. Right there, 3 fingers. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Then you can introduce the old index finger, and that's just 4 finger. The 4 finger, just all the way in there, like just like that. Just a little bit of spit. Spit always helps if you've got lube. I don't know if there's, again, because of the whole shortage, I'm not gonna get into the whole lube fiasco that's been unraveling before our eyes, but hopefully if there's lube, use lube. If there's no lube, spit is always fine. 45 minutes up to the hour mark, then you can introduce the old thumbaroo. That's right, thumbaroo goes in there. Now you got the old 5 finger fucking right there. That's classic, traditional, no fuss, all day, every day. Right there, finger fucking. And you're like, is there another level to it? Of course. Then there's more fingers on your other hand too. You're like, do I now start with the index and middle finger? Now that I've got the 5 fingers of one hand up somebody's bodily orifice, whether vaginal or anal, do I now introduce the classic index middle finger? No. What did I say? First rule always applies. Start with your smallest finger, which is your pinky, then add the second ring finger in there and move your way. Again, this should be, by now you should be up the hour and a half mark. Then you can go and add the third finger, which is your middle finger of your left or right hand, depending on which one you started with. Eventually getting closer to the 2-hour mark, that's when you want to introduce your second index finger and go in there. Now you got 9 fingers, 4 to 8 fingers and 1 thumb. And then by 2.5 hours, that's when you can introduce both thumbs and go in there again. The double right there, finger fucking trad style, just a lot of lube right there, spit. Again, lots of it. That's trad classic finger fucking, of course. But a lot of people are like, this is the new age. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. We are we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. I've got technology on my side. There are robotics that are being introduced, whether full-blown robots, or I've seen these beautiful, you can add an arm to yourself. You can add an arm, an extra arm to yourself. It's a bionic arm. It's like an exoskeleton. You can actually put it on so you could add 2 of those arms. So depending on how much money you're willing to spend, and if you're willing to work with, again, new age technology, you can add a 3rd arm, which is giving you 5 more extra fingers. And that's when you say goodbye to trad finger fucking and introduce new age finger fucking. You can actually have as many arms as possible now. You can have probably one on top of this shoulder, another one on top of this shoulder, 2 on each side here, 2. You can have 6. You could be like an octopus, essentially. You could have 8. You could have at least, if you're, we're not even talking about the legs. How many arms could you attach to your legs? Probably another 8. You could probably walk around with 16 mechanical arms right now, today, right now. Call right now, 1-800-6652-325566 and order your mechanical arms for your non-trad finger fucking routine, please. And if you call right now, we will throw in 20 other extra arms. So you could just, in front of your body, you could still have arms in front of your body all the way down and on your back. So you could be rolling around with up to 40 arms right now. Do not be that idiot loser who did not pay attention and did not call 1-800-566-325677. Call right now and we will actually, a professional will come and install the arms on you. Call within the next 20 minutes and we will come and destroy your entire entity, and we will just replace you with just one large blob of just arm, no human, just arms. And you can just do new age finger fucking with just an entity that is you, very much the same as you. The inside feels the same. Outside, not so much. Just 100 arms crawling all over the place. Your family will not regret the decision you've made today. Again, that's 1-800-665-232-145. Please call within the next 5 to 10 minutes. The first 100 callers will get 200 additional arms. That's right, 200 additional arms. Call within the next half an hour and your entire family will be replaced by just arms. Please call 1-800-665-321-567 within the next hour and your entire bloodline will be replaced with mechanical arms. You are living in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, what else is going on? I believe there has been a statue installed in New York Times that's 12 feet tall. It's a statue of a fat bitch. 12 feet tall, looks like dog doo-doo. It looks like garbage. It looks like, but I first saw it and I'm like, why would you? There must be a reason as to why it's there. At least luckily it's there for a limited amount of time. It's hideous. It's disgusting. It's just it's an eyesore. That's what that is. It's 12 feet tall. It's just an obese lady. It's just doing nothing in the middle of Times Square in New York City, New York, motherfuckers, and motherfuckers. One of the greatest fucking cities on planet, New York, New York, New York, city, New York, city, New York, city, New York, New York, York, city, New York, city of New York, NY, New York, NYCC, New York, NY. New York, New York, New York, city, New York, New York, New York, New York, city, New York, the one and only New York, New York, York, New York, NY city, New York City, NYC, New York City, New York, the one and only. New York. The one and only, ladies and gentlemen, 12-foot statue. And I asked myself, why would somebody put this hideous piece of garbage in one of the most beautiful cities on planet Earth? And I realized up until now, we've only, for the most part, older statues that you might find and wherever, the archaeologists, the bad boy archaeologists who go and dig shit up might find a nice statue of a guy with missing arms, because that's how hard men were back then. Men didn't have arms back then. The men of today are soft because they have arms, but statues point to the fact that people were thriving without arms. Some women too, missing arms. These bitches didn't have arms, but nonetheless good enough to have statues made of them. What's keeping you of having a statue made, your statue made today? Arms, fucking get rid of it, replace it with bionic arms, man. Replace it with bionic arms. But that's the problem. But maybe a solution as well, because you might see those beautiful individuals from the past, the statues with the fucking, the Adonises, the fucking, ripped in the calves, the Greek calves, or the fucking just they're nonchalantly just chilling there with like abs, but there's like there's no workout equipment, so you wonder how they got the abs. They're all muscular, but nonetheless good diets and fucking and hunting and gathering and talking about democracy and shit. That's how they built their calves, through democracy. We don't have that anymore. Instead, but the beauty of this fat bitch statue is that you see this whore, you see the fat giant whore outside, and you can feel good about yourself. Because the other statues made you think about like democracy and like calf exercises, which is an extremely difficult muscle to develop if you're not genetically gifted with it. Some people have it, some people don't. I'll just say that. Okay? And you're like, what if I just eat liver like Liver King and work out? What if you just focus on the steroids instead? What if you just stick to the steroids, forget the Liver King? What if that should have been the title of the Netflix special? The Steroid King, just sell that instead. And that's fine. At the end of the day, you realize you make a few mistakes, and sure, you might have not been completely honest with the people that you sold products. So it doesn't matter. It should have just been called Steroid King. That's what it is. You're like, I wonder if I could just eat livers and work out. I can get like the Liver King. You can't. You got to do steroids. That should have been the name of it. Nonetheless, either that or go back in time and do democracy on the steps of Democratides. That's right. But nonetheless, I don't even care, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter how you get your calves. The point is that this fat bitch will make you feel better, because most people, you can feel, other statues don't make you feel good. They don't. They might be like, man, that was great for those. But this bitch, you walk out like, well, this is great. She's wearing, just a basic gear, which is like nothing. She looks like dog shit. And which is actually, you can walk out and feel good for once. Because other statues won't do that. You can feel good about yourself, knowing it's easier to achieve. It's easier to be better than that bitch. You can't be better than those guys who get, missing arms and wrote shit with they came up with ideas and wrote shit on stone without any arms. So how are you gonna compete with that? Fat bitch, low bar, you can compete with that. So that's the positive pro side of this fat bitch. I believe she'll be there till mid-June or something. I think she's gonna be removed. I think she's gonna be moved to other cities so that other cities and people can get inspired too. So that's good. That's a really good thing. I'm here to talk to you today about a serious topic, ladies and gentlemen. I believe many of us are aware of the animal that is the bullfrog that exists out there in the wild. And I don't want to say anything because I love animals, but at the same time, there is it's weighing a little bit heavily on me, and I felt like somebody should say something, and I waited long enough, yet nobody came up and put their hands up and say, hey, I think there's something wrong here. The bullfrog, ladies and gentlemen, how did we create this so-called bullfrog? And why do we continue to create this bullfrog? Taking a giant bull and having that bull have sex with a frog seems otherworldly. At times it may even seem unethical or unjust, simply unfair. The bull is probably, I would say, 10 times as big as the frog, at least 10 times as bigger. It's bigger, 10 to 12 times bigger than the frog. I don't know how big the frog is. 100 times probably, 100 times, 100x. So how would that giant bull put his giant cock in the frog to impregnate it, so to create the bullfrog? It just seems really, it just seems like it's a lot. It's a lot. So maybe we could say, you know what? Let's just let these two animals just evolve separately by themselves instead of us. Just we have this infatuation with making cute little animals that don't exist in the wild. Well, let's make them together. Like weird ass bullfrogs because we're like, I want a bull. I want to see the frog fuck a bull. And what if it's reverses? What if it's a female bull and a tiny frog? And that's just as challenging. Just as challenging. Just think about the tiny penis on that frog, man. And it's not his fault, man. The total unit itself is extremely tiny in comparison to the said bull. All right, it's not his fault. The penis is adequate for the frog. But again, trying to penetrate that puss, that giant cow puss, that giant bull puss. Have a little bit of heart. I think about, yeah, sure, it's a novelty thing. You might see it and like point it out to your children on a safari. You're like, look at that bullfrog right there, Johnny. And Johnny's fucking smiling and just drooling all over spiral shaped candies, and he's just fucking jabbing himself in the eye, and just you're taking Polaroid pictures and it comes out all fucking blurry because you put your thumb over the lens. You think of regular bulls and frogs. Can't we just have regular bulls and frogs? Must we have these two animals that are literal opposites go and mate just so we get a little bit of I've had enough. Simple. I've had enough. I just want to put it out there. I'm raising awareness today. Please tell your local jurisdiction, tell all the local politicians. This needs to be a topic of discussion. Probably, I would say education has a lot to do with it. I'd say probably start within the schools and, how high can it go? How high do you want to take it? Supreme Court? International Court? Wherever you want to take it, let's take it. If it needs to be taken to the highest levels, then we'll fucking take it there. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I just saw it out there and I felt like, you know what? Fucking hey, I'll stick my neck out. Whatever, dude. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the animals. Guys, exciting news. Fucking get the shawarma ready. Warm up the shawarma. Put on the halal meat. Spin that haram halal record, dude. We're going Middle East, full-blown Middle East shit. It's happening. It's tight. It's nice. Relations are being mended. New bonds are being formed. I believe it's new. I don't know what is going. It's nice though. It's good. It feels good that. But I believe this is overall positive steps are being taken. Qatar has just come out and is gifting Donald Trump, beautiful President Trump, a giant castle or a palace in the sky. It's this $400 million plane, which is pretty fucking sweet. Now, I don't know much about gift giving in terms of like who are you supposed to, because I'm not sure what this, it doesn't matter though, as long as people are getting along, that's good. That's good. Perhaps we could do this all around the world. Perhaps more gift giving should be, yes, get the swords out. Right? All that with the shawarmas, with the fucking dip the hummus, dude. Dip it in the fucking right there. Hummus in your face and in my face. And 400 million, which by the way, I do gotta say, in order to get, good results, as much as we like a $400 million plane is kind of like low key, like nothing. So try a little bit harder, Qatar. We'll take it this time, but also more of that. You want more of that? Then you gotta give more in order to receive more and shit, which is nice. Cause like all in all, things are looking good. I think it's a good sign towards peace, I think. Or just like at least people getting, at least the elite can do really well. At least I can say that and that's a good thing. At least if the elites are doing well, then the fucking trickle down effect is also tight, dude. It is also tight. I would like to get in on the action. I know that you thought that was a big gift. That's nothing. That's nothing. We need 10 more of those for the president and other people too. Elon Musk should get a plane for himself by the Qataris or any royal family out there. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, any other rich influential people, they should all be getting huge gifts. And then I too believe we should be advocating for trickle-down gifts for the average person out there. I'm not gonna say that I want a $400 million plane, but low-key, Saudi Arabia, the Qatari royal family, who are all the royal families, Hamla, Ham, Shamla, Tutu. You know what I'm talking about? Fucking sword dancing, us sword fighting, dude. Just cultural fusion. So, men, sword fighting, kak to kak. Hama, Hamla. Right there, dude. Fucking, I'm not saying I want a plane. Low key, I will take a tiger. I will take a tiger, or like a lion, or like a used Ferrari with a tiger chauffeur. I will use Ferrari tiger chauffeur. Rolex, not for me, for my pet tiger. I want a Rolex for my pet tiger. I think this will help everybody just to work closer in unity and make progress. And I would trade you arms if I had any arms. I would sell you arms if I had arms. I don't have the arms to sell you the arms. Okay, I can't. I'm not the one making. I can't make a $142 billion arms deal with you, Saudi Arabia. Does that mean that I don't want something in return? Of course. Maybe a couple of Rolls Royces. Maybe lap dances. I'm talking belly dancers for free for life, dude. Just everybody, again, trickle down effect. I'm not asking for the big fucking bird in the sky. I'm not asking for that. Of course, that belongs to the president. The other lower stuff that fucking a bar of gold, a couple of bars of gold, maybe a vending machine with, to fill it up with gold and send it over. Send it over so that we can just mend. Personally, I've got nothing against anybody, so there's like really nothing to mend between you and just me and the global people out there. And we'll let just bygones be bygones with whatever. We'll let bygones be literal by purchasing of weapons. We'll let that. I don't, it's all good. It is all good. We're going to be building more in the Middle East, which is nice. More infrastructure is going to be built. Syria's just getting their sanctions lifted. That's also this is actually turning out to be really positive. This is all turning out to be positive. More people coming together, building, uniting. I don't know what the turnaround is going to be in terms of outcome and long term. I don't know what the impacts of this will be, because we give certain things, we're going to be also receiving certain things. I don't know how much of, is it good to, it's so tricky. I don't know. Because we would like to be friends and allies, but also keep the ideology there though, right? Keep the ideology, build Syria and build like Saudi Arabia and all the other nations in the region, like all of it, build it up, AI, museums, hotels, luxury places where people can go fucking sunbathe, but like also keep the Islam and bang, keep the Islam and there, right? Because friends, yes, visit, yes, do not exchange certain ideologies. Keep that at bay over there. Is it good that they're getting 142 billion? It's the largest sale of arms in history, I think, in terms of, so is it good? And I guess, yes. Could we have sold them something else? Because we are working towards more peace together, each and every. So if we are, why do we need to sell the arms? Because you need a lot of it, I guess, for more peace. You need more arms, which is good. I myself have been trying to get into arms manufacturing. Extremely difficult to get into. Apparently, it takes a lot of. They say it takes money to make money, but also apparently it takes weapons to make weapons, or. I don't know. I'm trying to outsource. If you know anybody, I'm talking child labor. I can't afford to pay people full price and give them, workers' comp and healthcare, all that shit. If anybody out there has access to children who are willing to work for a couple of pennies here and they just build sophisticated arms so that I could sell to, I would really greatly appreciate it. So please leave a comment if you know somebody who's willing to work for really crap money, but is also extremely intelligent and capable. Also resources. I too need access to, metals, minerals. It's just a lot, but trickle down will be tight. This is all good. But again, the fucking palace in the sky, that's nothing. So if you think that's, this is gonna it's nothing. We need more of that shit. More Qatar, more Saudi Arabia, more, all of it. And get other people, everybody and that way, it's fucking the business as usual. Elites, we keep the elites happy. We do that. And fucking, just turn it, as long as everybody wins. I don't, as long as everybody wins. I turn a blind eye on other things. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Missing journalists, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not going to come and look at the, trust me, I get my Tiger with my used Ferrari Tiger, smoking Tiger with a Rolex on his wrist. I could care less what happened to those World Cup stadium construction workers who either went missing or I don't care. I don't care. What's slavery? Who cares? It's all good. Just as long as we can all just get a couple of swords in our hands and as long as we can all enjoy the trickle down effect. I'm all for it, because eventually at the end of the day you gotta break a couple of omelets to make a couple of genetically modified eggs or something. They say that you gotta just fucking go in there with you gotta do it. You gotta fist a couple of hens in order to be able to get a couple of eggs, as the old saying goes. So I'm for it, all of it, as long as we're all doing it together. I just want a little bit of the old trickle down for everybody, of course, for everyone, not just myself. Not just myself, ladies and gents. The Antarctic ice. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change has never been more real. Climate change is so real right now, it couldn't be more real. It's so fucking real, climate change. It's constantly changing, this climate of ours. Not too long ago, the ice was apparently melting. Today, the statistics and the research shows that the ice is actually growing. The ice is growing and it's terrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, you all need to be extremely terrified, because if you thought the melting ice was freaky, the ice growth is even freakier, ladies and gentlemen. The ice growth, the scientists are coming out and saying the ice in Antarctica, the ice sheets are actually growing. It's scary shit. I don't know what they're doing to make the ice grow, but it is growing. Apparently that's just how cycles of climate work. But nonetheless, we need to raise them to get a lot of money. We need to raise a lot of money. And if you were scared of global warming, then I need you to be fucking terrified of global cooling. You hear me, you son of a bitch? Because if you thought melting ice was gonna raise the water levels in the water, then think about added ice. What would added ice do to so the levels will, in less than 24 hours, if I don't get $1 trillion of funds for climate cooling, you will all die. Do you want to die? Then I didn't think so. I would say 36 hours we are gonna hit the mark, and it's a tipping point, man. You don't want to hit that 1.5 mark shit, because if you hit that 1.5 mark, that's hard to turn that shit around. I'm telling you right now. Within 1 month, we're all going to be dead. You're going to be frozen. Within 2 years, the whole planet will be frozen. The whole planet will be, and we need to raise awareness. I know we've been drilling, we've been putting propaganda in the heads of the youth, telling them it's going to warm up. Fucking handbrake, halt it. It needs to be, switch the messaging. It's still going to be climate change, but switch it up. It's now freezing. They're going to be frozen to death. Forget about whatever they're going to be doing at school, like learning math and all that shit, to make sure they're terrified of ice. And if they see ice, give your kids lighters, jet-fueled lighters, so they can melt the ice. Little hands working with little lighters to melt the ice. We must fight the ice. Together we will unite. The human species has never been united before. Maybe aliens would be a uniting factor, but until then, until we actually tell people what we know for realsies, fucking the ice is our enemy. Everybody, grab a torch, set something. Grandma is probably too old. If she combusts spontaneously, that is, I'm not sure you want to put her out. Maybe just roll her wheelchair closer to a block of ice, okay? And be terrified, please. But it is changing. Apparently, it's just a cycle. And that's what a cycle is. Apparently, it goes through ups and downs. Long periods of time. Apparently, I'm not saying this. Professionals who study this for a living say this. Real scientists with real tits say this. So, but that doesn't mean that I should not be getting a lot of funds to fight climate change. You don't know how much funds I need to fight climate change. I probably need $10 trillion to fight climate change, and that's you fucking robbing me blind in broad daylight. I need 300 trillion. I need all the money in the world to fight climate change, and I don't want anybody to worry about it after that. Just make sure we get the money and tax whatever we need to tax, and make people's movements and mobility more of an issue, and how much they're consuming goods, and just make sure that the masses are controlled. And in the meantime, I need you to give me all the money so that I can go fight climate change in any fucking direction I please, whether it's heating or cooling. This is the HVAC of climate change, motherfuckers. And I'm here to just kick climate change in the chinny chin chin. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to remain calm. Remain cool, be collected. I know summertime is here, and a lot of women tend to go on jogs and titties be bouncing up and down. Titties be fucking, and it's nice. And it's nice, just titties bouncing up and down. And I said to myself, what a gift. If there was a way to just enhance this experience and perhaps have these titties bounce without the ladies jogging, which is why I decided to invent the all bounce bra for the titty that doesn't want to jog but wants to bounce. The bra is actually designed to have you stand in any spot you like, and it will start vibrating and jiggling your jugs. All the jiggling and wiggling without any of the running. Now, should you want to run, of course, you can do that. But this is for the chick that's on the go. This is for the modern chick that wants to fucking get it. This is for the modern chick that wants to fucking be about it. This is about them boss bitches out there. Hey, are you tired of jogging because you gotta put that pinstripe dress pants, dress suits? You gotta put the dress suits, dress pants, you gotta put that weird outfit on with the pinstripes. You gotta put that suit on, whatever, doesn't matter. Wear whatever you wanna wear, but underneath, wear our bras. The jiggler wiggler bras for the titties. These things will make your puppies just fucking bounce up and down at 3 different speeds. Slow, medium, really fast. Just jiggle really, really fast. So extra bounce bras. Please get this and gift it to yourself and your loved ones that you know that have giant tits that are just waiting to be bouncing. But they're like, oh, mom, I'm on pair of giant tits, but I gotta wait for my owner to take me out for a jog. Oh, poor, can you hear that in the distance? Not too far. You can hear sad titties crying because they gotta wait to go on a jog so that they can bounce. What a tragedy. What a sick twist of turn of events. That these beautiful puppies have had to be waiting for some woman to take them out for a jog. Meanwhile, all they want to do is just bounce. All they want to do is just make people happy. All they want to do is just be free. When will it end? When will it end? Today, that's when it can end, with extra bounce titty bras. Bras for extra bounce titties. That's right. Get them today. Get them now. Get 5 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we do want to, of course, we talk about many things, but this one is the one that's been popping up on the news and catching my eye, or eyes, or my glance, or my gaze. It's popped on my radar. Gaydar. Ladies and gentlemen, the point is that, do you know how to protect your children and the youth against the harmful impacts of social media? Many benefits can come from social media, but it can also be a very devastating tool that you could just be handing over to your dumb child and sending him off to a fucking world of terror and who knows what else. Back in the day, I remember when we were young, this must have been grade fucking, I want to say like elementary school. There was a local McDonald's. You had to take maybe like a 5-10 minute walk to. You could do that. We used to do that sometimes in grade school and good at lunchtime. Sometimes go to McDonald's, grab a little quick something, come back. And that was beautiful. That was wonderful. We used to do that. And I remember this one time, a few of our girls, a few of our friends, a few of our schoolmates, a few of our classmates went on this regular walk across the bridge to the said McDonald's. And on their way back, they got approached by a man, a pervert, in a van, in a typical white van. A white van and a man who tried to lure them in the van. And I remember that day we heard of it, and they had a whole... School was on edge, and they called the cops, and the cops went and patrolled the area. I forget what really happened at the end of the day. I'm not sure they found him or not, but that was the dangers of not too long ago, where predators were on the loose, but in the physical world. Now that may still exist today, but those numbers are probably lowered right now. You know where they've gone off to? Most of these perverts are online, and there's a lot of them. So how do you protect your children from online perverts? Like from such groups as the 764. Apparently that's a gang that tells young kids to go out there, and they get into Instagrams and TikToks and tell them to do crazy shit, like crazy pranks that may end up in death, crazy, weird activities with children that are underage. You know what I'm talking about, pervert activities. So they're doing that. There's a group that's called 764, and they fucking get kids to do crazy shit. There's that group. And then I heard about the BM, the BM boys, the Nigerian BM boys. BM story. I had to find out about it. BM stands for blackmail, where they get online from Nigeria, pretend to be. It's really elaborate. They put in a lot. They just put their efforts into actual work. They could have actually probably done something with it, but no. Instead, they go online, form these entities, fake entities. They pretend to be chicks, younger chicks, and get online and chat with boys, and then get the boys to send over explicit images of themselves or other people doing, mostly of themselves, doing explicit activities. And they sextort these kids. Some of these kids have ended up committing suicide. Some of them have ended up ruining their lives and whatnot, but it's happening. And it's just like, how do you defend your kid? Because you don't want to be that parent that tells your kid no social media or no phone for you. But also, how do you protect them? Because again, the white van of the not too long ago past, still probably out there, but lesser numbers, much more easier to get online and wherever you're from around the world, and form fake identities and sextort and just taunt kids. And the way you got to, first of all, I think it's education. You got to educate your kids, probably it should be that. This is for you to decide. Of course, should kids have access to regular phones, or should there not be some sort of kid phone for kids who can do minimal stuff with it? That whatever you want to contact your kid, contact them. You want to, because the internet, you just pass them the internet. It's right there in their pockets. Food for thought, but I get it. You don't want to be that one parent that says no to the phones or the social medias. What you want to do is to actually kill a couple of birds. I thought about that. You could kill a couple of birds with one stone. Get them the phone, right? Get them the phone whenever you decide it's time and it's appropriate for them to have that phone. But low key, the phones are expensive. I thought about this. The phones are expensive. When you're hanging out with them, when you're interacting with your kids, bump into them or kind of horseplay with your kids when they've got their phone in their hand. Make sure they drop it and break it. And then that way you're teaching, again, multiple birds, one stone, multiple lessons. Make them take responsibility for that broken phone, right? And blame it on them. Be like, this sucks, sweetheart. This sucks that you just dropped your $1,000 phone. And, teach them the value of $1 to, sucks for you not to have a phone for some time, I guess. What you could do is actually go out there and try to earn it. Why don't you try earning $1,000 or $2,000 so you can buy your own phone? And honestly, you can play this along for 2-3 phones, and it'll take some time to get a couple of $1,000. So God, and meanwhile, you taught him what the work ethic of going out there, getting a job, responsibility, earning money, and fucking not being such a pushover, and also not being so flimsy with their better hand-eye coordination too. But you can repeat this 2-3 times. Just make sure it's not so obvious. Maybe just like check them as they're walking in the kitchen and just make sure they drop. Don't buy the case coverings for the phones. Makes it much easier to break the phones. Have them just drop 2-3 phones. And yes, you're like, that would waste like $10,000. It's an investment, man. That's like 5-6 years where you can, prolong the time that they're on the phone. Also, maybe again, martial arts probably would be great, but also like give them the tools that they need. If they're going to be online, maybe give them a machete to just kind of like wield a machete every time they're on these like platforms, so that like other foreign entities or even domestic entities who are predators can see your kid wielding a machete and think twice before we, you know what, not this kid, not that we'll just pass on this kid, not this kid, some other kid. We'll just give your kids machetes, I think. And also, if you can get in on there, if you can get access to your kids, if you can hack your kid's phone, that way you can know of all the activities that they're aware of. Should such an instant arise where they're being tricked, jump in there, take over the phone, start chatting with the pervert, sextort them instead, reverse sextort, get in there, but you gotta like really be invested in this. So it's just, that's what I thought about, and you're welcome. You can break your kid's phone, essentially, is what I'm trying to tell you, until they're a little bit older. And again, machete is never, it's very cheap. Any kid could be, by their parents, of course. You could give at least they're playing with it and others see it and they're like, you know what? Not this one. So something I thought about, but fucking be careful out there. I don't know what to say. Again, white van, it's gone. The phone, it's right there in their pockets. So I'm just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful, positive, bright, today's all been positive and great, of course. It's been a great day, but none of it compares to this one. This one got me really excited, because oftentimes there's certain things that exist in our reality, in our world, that something just needs a new branding. It just needs a new face. It just needs a new, the initial idea is good, but let's just do another take of this. White refugees. This is beautiful to see. I believe there's been a number of white refugees from South Africa who are now getting, I guess, refugee status and coming over to the United States, which is fantastic. Because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, refugees have always, mostly for the most part, typically when you hear refugee, you think of a person of, color, some color at least, and oftentimes, low key between you and I, poor colors. That's what most of the time. You don't get too many, but this time I saw these, I don't know why they're coming from South, but I guess they need to, whatever the reason, it doesn't matter, but I saw a photo of them. That's all I saw. I just saw a photo, it says refugees, South African coming to the United States. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Because you know what? I saw the images of the families. They look really good. They fucking look really good. Not because they're white, not just because they're white, because they look good, they look healthy, and the fact that they're white too helps put a new face on refugees. The whole concept of refugees needs a whole diversify. That's true diversity, if you ask me. Because again, typically asking, not doing well, under rubbles, fucking bugs and flies and shit in their eyes, and they're, I'm so dumb, give me water, give me food. These guys, they look like, it looked like a model family. It looked like model families. It looked like it could have been an ad for like a nice, barbecue ad for barbecue events. Could have been like, buy this barbecue, and that family could have been in the background or the foreground, having a great time, just fucking great time, thriving in life. Everybody's well fed, everybody looks good, no crying, no fucking, I'm a victim shit. Just pure go-getters who just need to be assisted and lifted up, which is nice. So there we go. I thought to myself, yes, sometimes you just need a whole new rebrand. And not to say that you need to get rid of those guys who are still doing commercials for, colored people of colored refugees. You can still have those guys. It's diversify though. Diversify, just be lifted up. And those guys, if they just pull themselves up a little bit and like clean their act up a little bit, maybe they get access too. Just put on a nice shirt. It doesn't need to be a fancy shirt. Put on some clean clothes. You can find some clean clothes, right? Fucking put a couple of push-ups. A couple of push-ups wouldn't hurt, so you just stand up straight. A couple of chin-ups, push-ups, stand up straight. Fucking and then you could fucking come. But this is beautiful. So I saw that, I'm like, fuck yeah, finally, a new, it's nice. You never saw that up until, I guess recently we might have seen a couple of, might have had like Eastern European refugees due to, Ukraine, Russia get, but like I'm talking like, you know, the whites that speak English with like an accent and shit, get in here and like start fucking looking good people, you know, people who look like, you know, again, could be like a barbecue ad, it could be like a, oh, I want to get away for, you know, the weekend getaway and, you know, do kayaking shit. It just looks like a nice regular family. And not to say those regular families of Melon are not regular, but I'm just saying more, you know, those guys should learn too. Those guys should learn too. Fucking get in, find a body of water, get in there, just do a couple of laps, look a little bit happier, look a little bit more joyful, okay? Instead of always like, oh, it's so devastating being a refugee. All in all, it's a good new makeover, and it's actually diverse this time. It's fully incorporating everybody in there. Just breaking traditional norms of what it is to be a refugee, and fucking hell's yes, dude. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out, get out of here.